two tips about working with this plastic is you want to make sure that you score it, because it's like working with really thick cardstock, so it doesn't fold super easy. So like in this case, you want to just score at the 6-inch line, and then you want to just hold it down like this and just press down firmly, and it'll work out fine. So went ahead and put the base down of my background, and the second layer is the dirt over here. And when you're putting down the shadows for your figures, you just kind of want to, before you glue them down, space them out to make sure that they both fit. Like in this case, the volcano base is a little wider, so the dinosaur has to go up a little bit, which still looks fine. And so we'll go ahead and I've adhered the volcano down and the lava rocks as well. And we'll go ahead and put some adhesive here on the dinosaur. But you can use whatever adhesive works for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that down there. Make sure the tail doesn't come off. And oh, there was a layer too I forgot to tell you guys to cut. It is the brown layer. You can still kind of see it underneath. And I'll glue those back down in a sec. But here's the brown layer, and that's just for the eyes and the mouth of the dinosaur. That's how the Creator Critter layers work, which is really cool. And let's see. Okay, and also when you make your cuts, you are making the top layer and 2 of the secondary layers, and I think I mentioned that, but I didn't say why, and I was saving it till now. And then you'll need to cut an extra secondary layer when working with this plastic, so that you are able to cover up your adhesive. And so you cut an extra layer of the green for the dinosaur, and you also needed to cut an extra of the volcanoes. And I'll go ahead and list all the sizes and the amount of pieces, but you only need to cut the layers for the volcano on one. And also on this one, I don't know if you can quite see, the edges got a little, the blade dragged there a little bit, but it's not going to matter too much because you're going to be putting this one in behind the other one, and I'll show you that in a second here. So go ahead, and also you're going to adhere down this number 1, and I'm just going to put a little bit, because you might, if you're making this ahead of time, you might want to wait and see if you need to change the number to a different age or whatever. But in this case, we'll go ahead and just put that down right there, and I went ahead and stitched around the edge. Okay, so now here comes the cool part. Actually, I lied. Before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the face on my volcano. So I am using Peaching stamps, and this is the critter faces in medium. And there we go. There's our cute little face. And to the side. Okay, so there you have your face. And so what you're going to do is, when putting this together, this is the part you just need to look at real careful, is you want to make sure that your card is as flat as it will fold. And before you adhere, let's go ahead and put some adhesive on here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Okay, so go ahead and put some adhesive on it. Make sure your card is as flat as it can fold, and when you want to put the adhesive so that you can line it up with the shadow just there on the top, and make sure that it's going to be where you want it. Okay, and if it's not perfect, that's cool, it's handmade. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick it down like that, so that the shadow shows up behind it. And then the trick for this one is go ahead and put adhesive then on the second volcano that you have. Let's go ahead and do that. And what you want to do is go underneath, and this is to cover up the adhesive from the first piece. You're going to go ahead and just line that up exactly. And this is the one that you want to make sure you get exact, because that way it looks good from the front, and you don't see, and it looks good from the back, and you don't see any adhesive, and it's all covered up. So we'll go ahead And do the same thing with the dinosaur. You want to make sure that you line them up exactly where you want them to be. And make sure that that shadow peeks out nicely. Okay, and then push down. And then go ahead and put adhesive on, let's see, make sure I put on the right side, on the second light green dinosaur. Okay. Oops. Okay, see, I went ahead and put that on the wrong side. So, with this HEG, forgiving, you can just take that off, because you want to make sure on this one, you want to check everything before you put adhesive, pretty much, because once it's down, it's down. So my mistake was I put it on this side, and it needs to go directly underneath that one to cover up the adhesive from the first one. So if you don't have forgiving adhesive, just make sure that you match up before you put anything down. So again, like we did with the volcano, I'm going to go ahead and match it up exactly, because this is the one you need to match. And put it just like that. Okay, and there you go. So now your adhesive from the top layer is covered up and you don't see anything. And then we're going to go ahead and cover up the adhesive on the back as well. And just go ahead and put that. Oops. Just like that. And I wanted a little white mat to show, so I cut it like, I think it's like 1/8 of an inch shorter, but I'm not exactly actually sure that any of that will show. Yeah, just a pinch. Just a tiny bit of a border. Go ahead and put that, and then I had a scrap from cutting the back sheet down, so I'm going to go ahead and put that on there as well. Line that up right here, like so. Okay, and then I also wanted to put, since this is a handmade card, I have this stamp, oops, upside down, that says handcrafted. You can see the, okay, and there I have cute little handcrafted on the back of that. And the last thing that you want to do is, or actually there's 2 more things, but is take this happy birthday. This is from Stampin' Up, as is the handcrafted one. This one. Now you want to make sure that the stamp will fit on the number or shape or whatever it is you decide to put on there. And tip about stays on. You gotta put it down and don't move it, because it will smear. I don't know if I can show you on my example. It did smear just a little tiny bit, but I'm okay with that. It's, like I said, handmade. So, again, you want to make sure it's flat and hold it down with one hand, and take this with the other hand, and you're going to put it exactly where you want it to stamp. And don't move that stamp once you put it down, and lift up like that. And I think that actually came out pretty good. The last thing another material I forgot is the stitching on this was not done with on the cover was not done with the gel pen. It was done with this painter's pen from Elmer's, and it is, I believe it's acid free and stuff, and it's a paint pen. And I'm running out of time, so I won't be able to show you quite how to do it, but it works just, you do it just like a white gel pen. But I would practice on other surfaces to get familiar with it, because mine happens to be temperamental. Okay, so just become familiar with your paint pen before you put it on your final project. Here's with the stitching and without, and I'd like to thank Holly again over at Scrappily Ever After for letting me be a featured project on her blog. Thanks, and I'll see you next time. Bye!